Hi there, welcome back to my channel, Tales of a Knitter. I am your host, Melissa. I appreciate you stumbling upon my video if you are a new viewer and sitting down with me in my little crafty nook of our house that we're renting. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back and being patient with me through the holiday season. I did not post anything during Christmas time or anything during December. So the last time we spoke, I was working on a couple of gift knits, and then also my current wearable, the Rota jumper by Irene. So I have finished this, and all of my gift knits all finished up. I don't have any of them here to show you. I was planning on recording some stuff during the openings of our Christmas get-together with my family, but I just started feeling really uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if any of my family is really comfortable being on camera. So I will do my best to try and get some photos of what I made everybody and have those in the video. I will do my very best. So a rundown of everything I made. I made my brother, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, and my husband all felted slippers. So I made them all felted slippers in various sizes for their foot size. So these are the ones I made for my husband. And with the pattern, you can find the English translation on Inga's channel on Knitting Traditions, and it is her episode 21. I have that video linked in my last two videos for sure. I will also link it down below in this one. But yeah, she goes over how to make this, and it's very self-explanatory. Absolutely love these. On my husband's and on my mother-in-law's, I sewed in these suede little grippy patches for in the house because we have hardwood in most of our living spaces. And I didn't do that with my brother or sister-in-law's. They have carpeting in their house. But I told them if they ever do want like some suede on the bottom, I'll put those in. I know in past videos, if you are a returning viewer, you know that I mentioned how I wanted to go and thrift some of the slipper soles, but I just did not get around to it. I was so busy with other things, I just didn't get around to it. So I may, at some point, do that, but they seem to love them. My mother, who lives closely to them, has told me that they are wearing them all the time. So that makes me happy. Yeah, so I got all of those done. And then I was working on a pair of Christmas themed socks for my dad, which I finished. His took the longest. I think it's because at the time it's like I was doing one sock and then one sock. And him being a man and having larger feet, or just a person with larger feet, it just took a little bit of time, but way longer than what it should normally take me. And so I think it's just due to making other things while making those. So I got those items done. My dad loved his socks. He tried them on right after he unwrapped it. He loves hand knit socks so much. He put them on right away. Well, I kind of forced him to just to make sure they fit because I was a little worried because I started using this, I think I found it at it's like a sock knitting tool ruler you stick in your sock. So I used that and it worked, so they fit. So I've made that for him. And then last minute I started thinking, you know, I didn't really know what to get my nephews. I was a little weary of what they would like, and I know that they like, if one gets something, the other wants the same thing. So I went ahead and made them socks. Luckily, they are a teenager and a child, so their feet are a bit smaller than my father's, so they went a little quicker. I went to my local yarn shop and I got a couple of skeins of the Regia, sock yarn, and I thought I got 2 pairs of the Pairfect, but I only got 1 skein of the Pairfect, and then just another skein of the Arne and Carlos colorway, I believe. I have both of those on my Ravelry, so if you want to go and look up exactly what skein color, you can, but I don't have pictures for the socks yet. I need to get hold of my brother or sister-in-law, or even my older nephew, and see if he can at least take a picture of his feet wearing them for me. But they both fit the boys. I tried to pick colors that were blue and gray as best as I could, because they both like the Dallas Cowboys football team here in America. So I made those. And then I last minute made a hat for my mom, and it is the, I'll put it here on the screen. It's by Jenny from Honeybird Studios. I think it's the Lyss Toque, if I said that right. I may not have, but anyway, I made that hat for my mom. And I actually found a skein of my Berroco vintage yarn that I had from a sweater I made a long time ago. I think it was my terrazzo pullover or sweater. Anyway, I used that skein for the main color. It's a 1 color hat, but I was running out of yarn. So I ended up having to go to the yarn store again. And I ended up buying a kind of like light green color for the top portion of it, and I got a little pom-pom to put at the top of the hat. It's really cute. She really loved it. It fit perfectly, so I did a really good job there. I wish I had it here with me to show you up close, but it is a beautiful pattern, so engaging. I had a lot of fun working on this hat. I am already planning to make another one out of my heavy merino knitting for Olive leftover yarn from the Lume pullover, because it was so much fun to make. So I made all of those things, and I made my sister-in-law Katie, I made her the cowl. Y'all have seen that. If you are returning, I did have that finished quite a bit ago. If you are a new viewer, that was in a couple of episodes back. I think it was not the last one, but the one before. So feel free to go and watch that if you want to see it. It is beautiful. I made it out of Noro, and it is the Shifty, I think, or the Shift cowl by Andrea Mowry. It turned out beautiful, made it out of some Noro yarn. But yeah, I believe that is all I made for gifts. Oh, and the socks that I made everybody, apart from the felted slippers, they were all just vanilla sock patterns by the Crazy Sock Lady for my dad's pair. For the boys's, I had to do a lot of like looking up online and gauge work math to figure out what size to make them. So my dad's ended up being the size large from her pattern. Ryan's, my teenage nephew, his was a medium, so a 64 stitch count. And then my youngest nephew was the small size. So I had to do a lot of like to figure out what exact size. I've only ever made sizes for like me and my dad and my husband. I've never had to make kids socks, and so I was worried like, what if it's too big around, like circumference wise for their leg? And so I had to just do all this math to make sure I was casting on the right amount, and it all seemed to work out. So very happy with those things. So this, I will get into what I'm wearing now. I've caught you up on what all I did in December, and I'll tell you about this in 2 seconds. I was in such a, like, I have to get these things done because I did not get anything else for anybody in my family. It's like, I have to finish these things right now or else. So every single day I would wake up with my husband at 5:30 in the morning. I, would get him his coffee. That's just a little thing that I do. I like to make him coffee before he leaves to work. He has about an hour commute. So I like to make sure he has his coffee, or if it's been a rough night's sleep, I get him also a Celsius energy drink to go with him for midday. So anyway, that's what I do in the mornings for him. I would, wave him goodbye, and then I would come back inside, put on some, Vlogmas videos, and just like knit as much as I could before, the sun came up, because then I would have to start all of my chores, getting things prepped for dinner, scheduling workouts with my sister. That's something my sister and I have been doing. My sister is getting married to Katie this year. I'm very excited. And so I have been working out with Lauren a lot because she wants to get wedding ready with me. And I also need to have someone work out with me. I don't like going to the gym alone. I don't know why. It's weird. Anyway, I digress. I'm sorry about that spiel. So what I am wearing is my Rota jumper by Irene. It is a beautiful lace and cable work pattern. I love the little eyelets, but it turned out so well. The original pattern, obviously my gauge was a little off row wise because these are supposed to be 3/4 inch sleeves, and when I stand it's about bracelet length to wrist length, so almost like literally a full length sleeve. So my row gauge was off a bit. The yarn just stretched a lot more than I was planning. Like when I put it on the blocking mat, I'm like, oh, it doesn't look too bad. But then when I did it was a mid-block try on, so it was still a little wet, and I put it on and the sleeves were down past my arm or my hand. So I had to zhuzh it up a bit and let it finish drying. I was so worried. Anyway, I was contemplating everything I could do to save it, but once it did finally fully dry, it is a pretty good length. I like it anyway. It's just not the 3/4 where it would be about right here. Naturally, it comes down a bit further, but I really love it. It's really airy. I just have a simple black tank top on underneath it. But yeah, so it comes and hits about right here, and it dips down on the sides and then comes back up in the back. So it has a nice little baseball cut to it. But yeah, that is what I'm wearing. Absolutely love it. I made the size 2. I think it's a good size for me. I think for the ease amount you're supposed to have, it's about, bang on. I probably could have gotten away with a size 1 if I wanted it to be less ease, but hey, I enjoy it, so it's pretty roomy. That is all that I have finished or need to talk about, catch up. I'm sorry I was not here for December or any of that. I just mentally, I was not going to be the best me. So I just thought, hey, I'm going to take the month off, get my things done, concentrate on family and all those good things, and return when I can. So yeah, let's get into WIPS. I have been working on some items. I have a pair of socks I've been working on for my husband for literally 2 years. And I love knitting socks, but I think the problem with this is I'm not a fan of the pattern that I'm doing, and it's just a simple, I'm not following a pattern, it's just something I'm doing. So I know there's probably a pattern out there somewhere for a simple ribbed sock, but mine is a 3x1, so 3 knit, 1 purl, and I've shown this way back 2 years ago. It was so long. Been working on this for him for quite some time. I have 1 sock finished, and this is the last one, and I was literally way back here when I first started the second one. It's I've got to start working on this so bad. It's I feel bad just seeing it there. I want to work on other things, and I think my New Year's resolution this year is honestly going to be finishing some WIPs that I have going on and working from my stash as much as possible. Just from a budgeting standpoint too, it's like I would like to not buy much yarn this year. And I think when I do, I'm going to keep the receipts and see just how much I'm spending. Well, how much I do spend, I should say, because I don't really want to buy that much yarn. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to see how much I spend this year if I do. I mean, I have so much yarn in my closet and in my wardrobe. I don't think that I need to buy yarn, but if it's for a sweater quantity of anything, I probably will. I guess I'll see, but I do have some things lined up where I think it'll keep me engaged all year, like the yellow cardigan I'm going to be starting soon and all of that good stuff. So I just had to finish that row. I was like midway through the stockinette, so now that I'm on the foot, I am doing a stockinette section on the bottom, and then it just continues in the rib on the top. And this is out of the Zauberball yarn. He absolutely loves this yarn. I made him a pair of like green mocha colored ones, and he I shouldn't say green mocha. Oh my god, that makes no sense. It just looks like a coffee color to me. It is like mocha colors, like dark brown and caramel colors to creams, but then it has these beautiful like blue minty colors in there, almost like if it's a mint chocolate chip latte. I don't know. That's where my brain went when I made those. And he absolutely loves them. I think I made him another pair too. It's much more like jewel tones, like reds, yellows, darker greens too. But anyways, that is one WIP I've been working on. This one's the one at nighttime when, you know, Brad may be playing a video game. I pick that up and work on it for a little bit. But if I'm watching Naruto, I'm working on this as well. Or on my next item about to show, because I can at least read subtitles and work on these things. Where with the other two items, I've tried and I've messed up. So this is my next work in progress. I am working on my felted pair of slippers. So I talked about these also in the last video. You can find the colors for those linked in that description on last month's or on November's video. But yeah, so I just got one foot done and I'm working on the other. So this isn't exactly the construction that the pattern that was translated by Inga is like told. I decided to try this out because I really have been struggling with seaming the backside. It's been getting too tight and you can kind of like feel it and see it. So like here's the seam even felted if you can see. Oh god. See how there's like this ridge crease right here? I don't know, maybe it's not that noticeable to others, but like you can kind of see where that seam is. So I was thinking, what can I do to make that seam like less visible? And so I ended up doing this one cast on that I don't know the name of it. I remember doing it one time, god, like I think it was 2014 when I did the one and only pair of toe-up socks I've ever made for my sister. It was that cast on, but I remember how to do it. It's kind of like a zigzag motion on your needles where you're kind of overlapping them in a certain way. And you can look up on Google how to do that, or not on Google, but on YouTube how to do that. There's tons of videos showing how. So I did that for my seam here, and I think it'll work out okay, honestly. And it was really wonky, like working in the round, because technically your beginning of round's over here instead of in the center where their pattern is. So I just knit in a circle for quite some ways with a marker showing how many rows I did, and then I just reorganized the stitches whenever I had to separate for the individual socks. So I'm gonna see how these turn out. They may not be that great, so don't do as I do as what Inga tells you to do. I'm just experimenting right now with mine because I figure, well, they're mine. If they're not the best, they're mine. They're not a gift. So anyways, I've been working on that. This is the Alafosslopi yarn. The size I'm making is slightly smaller than what the pattern says to use. Sorry, I had to look over at my notes over there. So I went down one size because with all of the felting I've been doing, and I think it has something to do with our washer or the water not being quite hot enough or lack of agitation, because our washer doesn't have the agitator. It's a big drum top loader. And so I feel like there's a lack of agitation there, so it's not getting felted enough. So I have to like hand felt it a decent amount in my sink down here in the basement. So anyway, I've found that it's not getting like quite small enough or snug on the foot, so I made one size down, which should be about bang on, maybe a little bit big. I don't know. We'll see. It's a lot of fun. I cannot tell you the color of this because I do not remember, and my darling angel Lily, who is my little calico cat, she has, since I casted these on, taken it upon herself to raid my yarn basket, and she has completely chomped apart. Well, she has not eaten any of the label, but she tore the label and the yarn all into these matted, messy balls. It was insane. It was yarn spaghetti. It was yarn vomit to the max because my sweet darling decided that it must have looked at her wrong, and she got offended and she thought she was in a fight instantly with this yarn because she tore it to pieces. But I managed to wind them up and hide them away from her. It's my mistake. I can't even be mad at her. I left it there out in the open. And obviously she didn't like the way it looked or smelled. Like, I don't know, she just had an issue with it. So I don't know the color. I know I put it on my last video, so if you are interested, go and look at this description. Oh, let's try that again. Go and look at the last video's description if you would like to see those colors and where you can purchase them. Anyways, so since last video, I have started that as a WIP, and this is also a new WIP that I love. I'm having a lot of fun with this one. Absolutely love it. So I bought some Quince & Co. Oh gosh, do I not have a label on me? I've shown it before, but it's the Quince & Co. Osprey, I believe. I'll put it on the screen. But it is a yarn 100% American wool by Quince & Co. And I bought it in the colorway bark for my husband to make him a single malt sweater by Maxim here. So I have started it. Oh my god, it is so pretty. Oh my gosh. So here is the color, and the texture on this is so amazing. I just absolutely love it. I don't know if it's going to focus enough. Maybe if I tap the screen. It helped it a tiny bit. But it is so beautiful, and just the detail on his raglan in this pattern, it is so cool. I love how it has like this purl row or this purl stitch in between the raglan increases. So when he puts it on, it will really like show. And this is stretchy yarn. I'm making the size for the 40-inch chest. And I just love it. I've already separated for the sleeves. Or separated the sleeves from the body a little bit ago, like maybe a couple weeks ago I did that, and I've only gotten maybe like, what is that, like 3 inches down. And the one modification I did was I did a double, not a double knit, but it's like where a double thick collar. I'm so sorry, I just heard there are people yelling outside. I think they've gone away. I'm sorry, that kind of scared me. Because literally, like right here, I have a window where I can see outside. No one came up to my door, but I heard yelling like right past, like, so right behind this wall here, it goes to like the outside. And so it's like I heard it like on the other side of this wall. It freaked me out. Okay. But it's a double layered collar and it's just so squishy. I love it. That's the one mod I did. I figured it would look kind of nice on him, and I had him, you know, put it up on his neck and he said it was soft. So anyways, there is that. The only thing I'm extremely worried about is I am very scared of running out of yarn right now with this project. So this is what I have on this skein. So this is worked on yarn. This is a full skein. So it's like, I don't know, you can kind of hide it. It's not going to show up very well like that, but you can kind of see next to each other. This one's smaller. And I'm so worried I'm going to run out of yarn because I only have 2 other skeins. So I have 3 more after this. And I'm worried about the sleeves. Like, what if the sleeves are too short? I don't know what to do at the moment. So I'm thinking I'm going to finish this skein and just put the body on hold if I'm not done yet, and then do the sleeves first. I don't know. I do love this though, and I think I should have enough yarn. I think I should, but I'm just a little anxious about it. I'm a little worried, so I'm gonna be working on this for a while, hopefully. Anyway, that is the other WIP I have ongoing, and my last WIP is my Waffle sweater by the Knitting for Olive ladies. So this is how much I have done on her. Oh my god, she's so pretty. I am in love. Absolutely in love with this sweater. Oh my gosh. So I'm knitting this out of the Knitting for Olive silk mohair. The soft silk. Yeah, Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the colorway Ballerina. And it is a pattern that you hold 3 skeins of it together. So I just wound 3 skeins and I'm just putting it in my bag and pulling it. I'm not having any issues with it. On this pattern, or on this project, I have already separated my sleeves and I am working on the body, and I've only gotten maybe like 1.5 inches done on the body on my project because so during Christmas I started, or not during Christmas, but during December I was working on all of those gift knits, and so it's like, well, I don't know, get those done and then I can start on these. And so I started working on these things. Actually, no, I started those right before. So I started working on those the moment I got done with this. I had to at least cast on the lace one. And I do remember there were a couple of weekends in December where I started working on those 2 projects to give myself a break. That's right. So it was right before I started all of my gift knitting that I started both of those 2 items. I should also say, ooh, what size am I making? Hold on. Forgot what size I'm making for mine, for the Waffle sweater. I believe I'm making like, yeah, I'm making the medium size. So that one is about, finished circumference would be 42.5 inches. I wanted a little bit of ease, so that's what I'm making it out of. Pattern is very well written. I really enjoy it. The stitch pattern is it's literally like a 4-row, I believe, repeat. Yeah, 4-row repeat on the pattern. Very, simple to do, but also if you're new to lace work, I would say maybe like a beginner that's adventurous would like to take it on. If you're uncomfortable with things that involve like yarning over or purl, like, I don't know, purling, it's just, there is purling in this. If you don't like purling, that's a negative. But I don't know, if you're not comfortable with decreases or yarn overs yet, I would say that this isn't necessarily beginner friendly. It is simple, but I do have to remind myself I am an advanced knitter, and so to me it's easy, but to others just starting out, I know that this would be a little daunting. So I would say, you know, a smaller like accessory lace pattern may be something better for you to start with before you tackle this one. But I will say, out of a lot of lace patterns, this is very simple to do. So once you have those skills down, you can definitely make this sweater. Really, that's all I have to talk about today. I'm going to keep it pretty short and simple. Yeah, I'm just getting back into the swing of things. I really hope all of you had a great holiday season. Hope you're enjoying, you know, all of your knitwear. Let me know about what all you're working on down in the comments. I would love to talk to you. Also, please like and subscribe to this video and my channel. I would highly appreciate it. It helps me and it helps the whole algorithm that YouTube has. So please do that. But yeah, I will see y'all next time and more regularly on my monthly uploads. Last month was just a kind of a quirky month, holidays, you know. But anyways, I will see you next time. Have a great day.